I'm Karen Cooper, and this is Channel 5 News at 7. Today we'll be talking about alcohol usage in the early 1900s and how it affects people this century and people back then. Now to Judy, my colleague stationed in Connecticut in front of a local liquor store, talking with Mary Hatchett Hunt. Thanks, Karen. I'm Judy Jones, and I'm here with Mary Hatchett Hunt. We're standing in front of a local liquor store. Today we're discussing how the temperance movement still affects people today. Oh look, here's Mary.
Hi there, Judy.
Hi. So since you're a leader of the temperance movement, you must have some pretty strong feelings about alcohol use. Can you explain those?
Well, sure, Judy. First off, I've never liked the thought of alcohol use in the world. My main goal is to make sure schools taught their students that alcohol is destructive and sinful. I try to get state legislators and Congress to require schools to have anti-alcohol education incorporated somewhere in the school day.
Now tell me, Mary, how exactly did you try to incorporate this in the schools all over the country?
Well, it wasn't easy, but I encouraged women all over the country to pressure local school boards to install anti-alcohol textbooks in their schools.
Now, how did that work for you?
Actually, it worked out very well. The plan turned out very successful. Students all over the world were being taught at least 3 classes a week about all the evils of alcohol.
Well, that's great to hear. I wish more people would think about the consequences of alcohol and take them into consideration. What exactly made you believe what you do?
Well, it may seem a little silly, Judy, but I've always liked children. That's why I was so passionate about teaching kids the evils of alcohol.
Oh, I love the little munchkins, too.
Well, anyways, since I like them so much, I would hate for them to grow up with a tough life and an alcoholic home. To me, drinking is like taking blood of children, and that will make them inherit bad habits.
Oh, we'll be right back with our next surprise guest right after this short break.
Were you watching The Notebook earlier today? Because if you were, get up and get one of these things! A Kleenex. Available at Walmart.
Okay, we're back. Wasn't that some interesting information from Mary? Well, now I guess I'll give the show to my other colleague, Susie Stevens, who's in Chicago with another somewhat amazing guest, if you know what I mean. Thanks, Karen. I'm Susie Stevens, and I'm here with Alphonse Capone.
I said to call me Al.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, Alphonse. Oh, wait.
No
Al.
problem.
How do you feel about what Mary just said?
Well, I don't agree with it at all. You know, Susie, violence is a part of the job.
How does that theory play into your life?
Well, when I was a kid, I was poor. I quit that stupid school business when I was like 14. I liked my family. I tried to use my gangster business to protect and provide for my family because I didn't want to die and I didn't want them to die. So I used my violence as a part of the job.
Did anything you ever did come to you as a sin to God?
Not necessarily. Like I said, I was just protecting my family and myself. This was just my job that I used to provide for my family and myself. Now, I do admit that I was a bootlegger to most of Chicago. But all of a sudden, when those same people were drinking a glass of champagne at a party, it wasn't bad anymore. But without me, that glass of champagne wouldn't have made it to that party in the first place.
How were you able to avoid the law by doing all of this?
Well, Susie, I will say that I did pay some cops and judges to keep me clean of guilt. I always told them that the glass of champagne they drank last night was a gift from me.
How do you keep other gangster groups out of your way in your business?
Well, I do believe in violence and that it will solve all of my problems. If they tried to get in the way of my businesses, they wouldn't hear the end of it. I made sure that people didn't ever want to try and get in my way.
Well, I think that it's time for us to stay out of the next guest's interview time. Thanks for your time, Al. It was a pleasure to have you today, I guess. Well, let's give it back to Karen in the studio with our last guest for the day. Thanks, Susie. So now I'm here with our final guest, Casey Carter. Casey is a citizen who was affected by the temperance movement in her life today.
Hi, Karen. I'm so glad to be here.
Wonderful. So, do you agree more about the temperance movement, Mary or Al?
Well, honestly, Karen, I agree with Mary.
Honestly, I do too.
Good for you, Karen.
So what makes you agree with Mary?
Well, drinking used to be a way of life, and for some people today, I believe it still is.
How do you...
Nope, I'm not done. I think that if the temperance movement never happened, then people today would drink just as much as people back then did. No. Now, why didn't she tell? Now, some people are trying to stop alcohol from being sold and are trying to make the world a better place.
How do you think they can do
I'm
that?
not done yet. But most people are still caught drinking alcohol.
That's great to know. Oh no, looks like you're out of time. Looks like it's time for you to go.
Oh darn, I wish I could stay longer.
Don't we all? But there's one more thing I want to know. How would you feel if the 18th Amendment was replaced by an amendment that says you are allowed to sell and consume alcohol?
Well, if that happened, I'd be madder than a bear.
Well, I think we've learned a lot today from our guests. I think it's time to wrap up the show. Thank you for watching.
Hi, Mom!
Are you ready yet?
Is this
Short break.
By Glade.
Mom was backwards?
Thanks, Karen. Hello, I'm Susie Stevens, and I'm here with Alfonsi Capone. Today... Sorry, start over.
Oh, wait, no, thanks, Susie. Go to thanks, Susie.
Wasn't that some interesting information from Mary? Well, now I guess we'll give the show to my other colleague, Susie. Dang it!
Chased by a chainsaw.
How about you, Mary? Before you leave,
What's that?
how would you feel if the 18th Amendment was replaced by an amendment that says you're allowed to...
Oh!